Welcome back, everyone, here to the Bronx Talk Show. Today is March 3rd, 2024. I'm Ryan, joined here with Christian, and we are 25 days away until Garrett Cole takes the mound in Houston at Minute Maid Park to take on the Astros. Obviously, the rest of the boys be ready to go. The captain, Judge, Juan, Soto, the rest of the crew all going to be ready to go to take on those Astros for the first series of the year. March 28th at 4:10 p.m. Eastern time. So really, really excited for that. And we've had some pretty solid spring training games over the last couple of days. And, Christian, how have you enjoyed spring training so far? Last time we talked about spring training, I think the first game was underway. We've had like a week of games. How are you feeling? How are you liking everything that's played out so far?
I like it a lot, but I got to be honest, some of the spring training juices have weared off. I was pumped. I think like the first game that was broadcasted on I guess it was a Sunday, and I was so locked in. Every pitch I was dialed. And then even the next game, I think Monday, either Monday or Tuesday's game was broadcasted. I was like, yeah, I'm invested. And then, I kind of lost touch, reminded myself it's just spring training. But I still am enjoying a ton, the Juan Soto highlights that we're already getting to see. The guys that we'll talk about later that have kind of been surprising and kind of put a thought in the back of your mind. Are they going to make the team? So, I think it's kind of happened to everyone. It's like everyone reaches such a high point because almost mentally, like you think Yankees baseball is back, which it is. But then you kind of come back down to earth and you're like, all right, it is still spring training. We still do have a month till games. But, I'm happy. I am every day, Ryan, I am just thinking about March 28th, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, I've enjoyed watching the games a lot. I mean, especially, I can see how the night games, I guess, are hard to, watch
Yeah.
and totally stay focused, especially like a game on Friday night, like people are out doing stuff. But, the Sunday games I've really enjoyed. Today, for instance, and just kind of relaxed, watched the Yankee game, and had a really good time. So I feel like the day games, Sunday games are a lot better. And then obviously they're playing day games as well during the week, and those could be hard to catch because you're at school, work, etc. I do the best I can. I'd say I've watched 95% of spring training so far. I have missed a little bit, but I've been caught up on everything that's happened. And yet 25 days away until opening day. It's really, really exciting. It's going to be really big for the Yankees, seeing the boys walk out there in Minute Maid. I'm really intrigued to see how the new road uniforms look on the players. We've seen like what the jersey actually looks like, but seeing it like on the players, seeing it on the captain, Judge, Juan Soto, and those new, road Yankee threads, that's going to be as cool as well. But, there's a lot of big storylines too, not just for the Yankees, but it should be a really good first week of baseball in the major leagues. And I think even a week before that, the Dodgers and Padres open up March 21st. Then they'll play like 2 games and then go back to spring training, then open back up in the States. I remember that happened with the Mariners and I think the A's years ago. It's pretty interesting. I feel like that's definitely confusing. Like if you're a player, being able to flip that switch on
It
and
is
off.
weird. I was thinking about the 28th, and with the game being at 4 o'clock, it's kind of a win-lose. So normally opening day is at 1:05.
Yeah.
I get to pretty much watch most of it in school, then go to baseball and miss the end of it. So like I guess 22 was when Donaldson hit the walk-off, or 22.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
so got to miss that. That sucked. This, game starts at 4:10. I'm going to miss Juan Soto's first at bat in Yankee pinstripes, but I'm going to get to catch the end of it. So honestly, I'd take that. But that is going to hurt getting. And I'm guaranteeing you right now, Ryan, he's going deep.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, he is.
it was the most obvious thing. I said it was the most obvious thing. His first spring training game, he was going to homer, and it's going to happen
Yeah.
against the Astros. So that's going to be exciting. And, let's get right into it. Juan Soto is amazing.
Mm.
He is. And look, I get it's spring training, and there are certain guys that you kind of have to put spring training in perspective and be like, all right, they're facing mostly minor leaguers, maybe they're hot. We've seen Kyle Higashioka be the MVP of spring training, but his at bats are so impressive.
Yeah.
And we do have Aaron Judge, so I feel like that almost helps it seem more real. But I mean, if we didn't have the privilege to watch Aaron Judge for the past 5 years or so, I mean, this guy would actually seem like out of this world.
Yeah. No.
He is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think today, especially, Verdugo didn't end up playing.
Yeah.
Left knee contusion, got hit by a pitch. Hopefully he's all good there. We can talk about that a little later on, I guess, but it doesn't look like it's that much of a big thing. But I was looking at that lineup today, Christian, and I was like, wow. I mean, I was like, wow, you got DJ, Soto, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Verdugo, and Gleyber Torres wasn't even playing today. Like, that lineup looked really, really good. And I think the protection is going to help a lot of guys, not only Juan Soto, but many other players in that lineup. And they're all building and feeding off each other. But yeah, Juan Soto has looked out of this world. I mean, I get it, spring training, and, we're going to say that every day, when we're talking about players and stuff and their spring, and everyone else is going to say it. But the way he's played so far has been very encouraging to see. It's been very fun to see. And his numbers, I mean, give it, it's a week. I think he has under 10 at bats maybe, but his numbers
3
are
home
out of
runs.
this.
I mean,
yeah, I think he's batting 714 or something crazy like that. It's like, that's insane. 714 batting average, 3 home runs. His OPS, I think, is in the 3,000. So I don't
correct.
know.
Yeah. Could I read a quote from Garrett Cole?
Yeah.
I knew this is in reference to Juan Soto. I knew I would enjoy watching him, but I love watching him.
I think that, not only is it like, Christian, not only have we seen Juan Soto just tear the cover off the ball and look like that superstar that we brought into New York. I mean, how about the fun he's having when he's hitting these home runs?
Yeah.
I mean, the Yankees have posted on his social media. He does like the sort of like hop step, right near third base. And, he's looking swagged out. Everyone was on Twitter today was talking about he had a pinstripe arm sleeve to match like the Yankee pinstripe uniform. I mean, he's looking dripped out. He's having a lot of fun with it. So, like, you as a fan, when you're seeing a player, like Juan Soto be that invested and having that much fun playing the game, it gets you excited. It's excited to watch. I wonder if Cole was referencing a little bit of that. But, yeah, I mean, the play on the field that we've seen from Juan Soto has been very, very exciting. And we've seen Juan Soto, not only that, like, he's giving it like 110%. We saw, I think, last week, like, he was diving for balls. Like,
well, I almost want to dial it back. Like,
yeah, no, that part I totally agree. I mean, we don't, especially in the outfield, we don't need to be diving.
You are
balls.
not our defensive specialist. You are our
yeah
monster lefty
yeah.
bat. Just, if anything, just park yourself in the outfield, catch the routine balls. If he got hurt, Yankees fans, all hell breaks loose. I mean, it's over. So
yeah.
Stay on your feet. We don't need you diving. Maybe a big spot in the season, not a spring training game.
Definitely not, especially since it's, March 3rd, but yeah, no, Jeff Nelson was saying on the telecast too, he's, saying relievers, spring training is very long for relievers because they are able to build themselves up quickly. They're only pitching an inning. And he was saying basically that's how he feels about Juan Soto. He's saying Juan Soto must feel like spring training's way too long. I mean, this guy is ready to start the season like today. Like he's ready to go. And we still have, a little less than a month of games left to be played. But Juan Soto's ready to go, and obviously there's going to be other players going to see how their spring progresses. But right now, Juan Soto's saying, "Look, let's get to Houston already. I'm ready to start this thing." But yeah, he's been flat out amazing. He's been flat out amazing. I'm hoping we could even save a few of those spring training home runs, add him to the regular season too. I mean, that's just how awesome he's played. It's like let's save that. Let's save that for the regular season.
There is no say. This is the player he is.
Exactly.
And one thing, I don't know how much of this you've seen, but between TikTok and Twitter or X,
yeah,
the amount of Mets fans doing Juan Soto Photoshop.
Oh yeah,
talking about how awesome he's going to be next year. I mean, come on. He hasn't even played a real game for the Yankees yet.
Yeah.
It's like the classic Met mindset of just annoy. Just be annoying.
Yeah, the Mets are gonna Met. I mean, look, my dad's a big Yankee fan like myself, Christian, as you know. But he, the last few years, he's been saying like every year, like he thinks the Mets have a good team, and I tell him the same thing. I say, Dad, they're the Mets. They'll always find a way, and they always end up finding a way to put themselves in harm's way. And yeah, I think it was Randy. Who was it? Randy Miller? I don't know. Someone put something out last week saying that the Mets were going to sign Juan Soto after this year. And then Pete from NYY News TV talked about it, and I saw that. But yeah, I mean, it's weird. I mean, you got to put that stuff to the side. The Mets, I don't know if this is actually 100% true. I saw it on Twitter, and I could be wrong. But the Mets are getting a dance team. Did you see that? They're getting like a dance team, like a cheerleading team, I guess, but like a dance team. Look that up. See if that's true. I don't know.
Was the other thing you sent me true about that they were practicing?
I have no idea.
They were practicing how to walk off the field after getting walked off.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was from a Mets reporter. I don't know.
A real Mets report. I couldn't tell if it was a joke.
No, it was a real Mets report. I don't know if it was like.
It has to be a joke, though.
I don't know what Mendoza's doing to the boys down there. I mean, that team is. No, I mean that team is. Maybe they can. If some players bounce back, right? A guy like Marte could bounce back. The lineup might be able to, figure it out. But I mean, that rotation is along with that pen is. I don't know. That'd be my questions for the Mets. But they have so many Yankees. I mean, they got Sevy, Voigt's there on a minor league deal, Bader's in center field. I mean. It's like, come on, stop stealing our players. It's like,
yeah, I mean, well, the whole problem I think was, and I'm almost 100% sure it was Fox that put the Juan Soto top 10 landing spots for next year and had the Mets at 1, and then that got everyone started. But I just don't get what, like, is it for clicks? Like, why are we doing that right now? I mean, can we just enjoy at least one season of this guy? And to be fair, there's a good chance the Yankees are right there to re-sign him. So,
yeah,
the already fast forwarding to 2025 just bothers me with Juan Soto, especially when it's just Mets fans just trying to get on Yankees fans' nerves.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hear you. I still want to see if they have a dance. I saw it on Twitter if they had a dance team, because I mean, it doesn't get more Mets than having a dance team. I mean, that would just be comical. The Mets are like, 15 under 500 in August, and we're getting go Met. Like that would be hilarious. That'd actually be hilarious. But
so they do have a dance team.
Oh, okay. So the Mets have a dance team.
What?
Christian, you should try out for the Mets dance team.
They're not a serious team. I don't.
No.
A dance team? What is this, football? Why are we having cheerleaders?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I know the Astros have them. I don't
didn't even know the Astros, but of course that makes sense. Yeah. They're probably the ones relaying signs. But where does the dance team even go on the?
God, I don't know. I think the Astros, I've seen it before. They like stand at the top of the dugout, like on top of the dugout and dance.
I guess anything to bring in tickets because your team is certainly not going to do that this season.
Yeah. I don't know. The Mets dance team. That's. I mean, come on. It's the Mets. I mean, they gotta have a dance team.
Who surprised you the most this season?
In spring training, I mean, one guy comes. I get the big one be Nick Beardy. I've been hearing, not that I've been hearing, but basically everything going around is Nick Beardy's really impressed the Yankees so far this spring. He really caught my eye. I didn't really know much about him. He throws like upper 90s, tops out around 97, 98. I believe he was with Chicago last season, was, mainly in AAA. I think got into a few games, got roughed up. I didn't really think much of him. But when the Yankees had their first live ABs, he struck out like Soto, Judge, LeMahieu, Rizzo. Like he just struck out like half the lineup, and he's pitched well. So Nick Beardy is definitely one guy who I'm pretty confident is going to make the team. He's definitely surprised me a ton because I never really heard anything about him. And Brian Hoke actually came out with, I believe, sometime in the middle of the week, his predictions for the Yankees 26-man roster for opening day, and he had Nick Beardy included in that Yankees bullpen. So look, we've seen what the Yankees can do with relievers. I feel like this is a yearly thing now. In spring training, we saw it last year with Ian Hamilton. Years prior, we've seen it with Lucas Luetge, who was out of the majors for a long time.
Yeah.
Pitched really well, made the Yankees team. So I feel like it's a yearly occurrence with the Yankees, and Nick Beardy has definitely caught my eye a ton. And I'm excited to do more research on him because who knows? Nick Beardy could have a big role in the 2024 Yankees. I mean, who thought Ian Hamilton was going to be as good as he was last year in 2023 at this time? So we just don't know, but he's definitely caught my eye for sure.
I think he's definitely going to make the team. He's 31 years old. He's had Tommy John twice. So this guy's been in the big leagues for 4 seasons, and he's only pitched in 19 games as a reliever.
Wow.
So, I mean, Tommy John twice.
And he had, that I totally forgot about that, but they mentioned that on the broadcast yesterday against the Orioles. Not only did he have Tommy John twice, Christian, he had another arm injury. It was I think it was like some nerve injury in his arm, but that was another thing. So arm injuries have definitely been unfortunate for Nick Beardy.
Yeah, and I mean Boone's quote was, I think he can tighten up his arsenal a bit. And it seems like this guy has just ridiculous stuff in terms of fastball, his off speed. It's kind of about harnessing it. And, that's where I think he's going to thrive because Matt Blake is the perfect guy to do that. The Yankees organization is the perfect place for him to thrive because that's what they do. I mean, they take these relievers and they put them together. So, look, Tommy John twice is nothing to, scuff about. Like, this guy, we'll see if he's able to stay on the field. But look, if he can get his command a little bit better and really harness, I mean, his potential, I'm telling you, he's going to be our 7th, 8th, 9th inning guy, whatever. Yeah. But he's going to be in high leverage spots.
Yeah, for sure. Nick Beardy has, definitely impressed me. We're still early on here in spring. Obviously, there's still a lot of games left to be played out, and there'll probably be, other players that surprise us. One guy, Yorbit Vivas, has definitely looked very impressive. He's looked very good in the field. He's looked very good at the plate. He's another guy I'd be excited about because I just feel like he could play a big role for the Yankees, not only this season, perhaps off the bench, or in the future going forward. We don't know what's going to happen with Gleyber Torres, and we're not going to jump so far ahead and say next year Yorbit Vivas is going to be starting at second base for the Yankees. But we do know he is a prospect. He's right there knocking on the door, and he is an option for the Yankees. But he's definitely someone I would keep an eye out for. And I think at some point he's gonna, make the Yankees roster get up there to the big leagues. I don't know if that will be opening day, but you definitely see from even watching a few at bats, the talent is there. Talent is there. His bat speed is very, very good, and great lefty swing in Yankee Stadium, and never could go wrong there. So he definitely looks good, and he's been fun to watch for sure.
He has. I mean, me and Ryan, we put out a video talking about Gleyber Torres' future and if we think the Yankees will extend him. And, I think we both kind of came to the consensus that they weren't. And we'll see how the season goes, but it just seems like the Yankees haven't really made any effort, and especially if they're going to be going after Soto hard. But I do think some people need to pump the brakes with Vivas because, yeah, he's looked great, and I think this guy is going to be a good piece on the Yankees team. But, I mean, to be talking about, like, future second baseman, I don't know. That just seems like a little bit too far. Look, I think it was a good pickup. I believe the Yankees got him in the Dodgers trade along with
Yep.
Gonzalez and Trey Sweeney. We've said this before. He was a very good prospect. So, the
Yeah.
Yankees obviously got a solid return, but we got to see this guy. And I think really, to kind of come back down to earth, I think this guy's just going to be a nice bench piece. If an infielder needs a day off, he's right there to slot in. I don't know how fast he is, so I mean, pinch running maybe. And his defense does have some question marks. People have talked about his range being not that good. But look, I mean, he's done great with the bat so far. His swing is quick. A quick swing is always important and valuable. So I think I just think people need to pump the brakes a little bit with this guy, though. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
me and Ryan, look, we're shouting him out right here for a surprise because, yes, he has surprised us, but we're a week into spring training games. So if he can keep this up, I hope he makes the roster. And then, if he can really find his spot during the season, then that's great. But you also have to keep in mind, I mean, you already have guys like Peraza and
Yeah.
Oswaldo. So this guy almost does have a little bit of competition for that utility infielder role, right?
Yeah.
So he does have to keep this up if he wants to make the opening day roster.
Yeah. I mean, I think also with that bench is the Yankees bench is sort of questionable. We don't know who exactly is going to make it. If Oswaldo Cabrera has a bad spring and Peraza as well, are they both going to put them on the team? The Yankees in prior years have liked to keep like a really speedy guy. A guy like Peraza could definitely, be a pitch runner if you need him to be. But I wouldn't put him on that, Tim LeCastro, Tyler Wade level. So I wonder if the Yankees do something there. Maybe they add someone. I don't know. The bench is interesting. There's some guys, Jeter Downs is one guy. I don't, totally think Jeter Downs is going to make the, Yankees opening day roster. He could, right? Could, back up Volpe at shortstop, does play the outfield a little bit, plays shortstop and second base. So maybe Jeter Downs is an option, made a really good play in the field. But I don't know. I don't know. That bench is going to be interesting for sure for the Yankees, and I'm really intrigued to see how Oswaldo Cabrera plays out, especially this spring because Oswaldo came up, looked really solid 2022. We were all raving about his defense, being able to play the outfield, play like every position. And I just felt last year was just miserable for Oswaldo Cabrera. He just didn't look good at all.
Yeah.
We saw the defense starting to be a question there. And I didn't like what I saw from him. And it was quite frustrating how he would get sent down to work on things. And then literally the next day, someone would get hurt. So that was frustrating. He just kept coming back up. But I don't know. I mean, I would not like. I know how valuable that is.
Yeah.
Play all those positions, but you know, I feel like the Yankees could get an understanding of where Oswaldo Cabrera is at, and make a solid decision about it. Because if this guy doesn't have a good spring, he's not ready to go. I mean, what are we doing here? And there's starting to be some questions here with his switch hitting ability, and he's gonna bat lefty against, I think, select left-handed pitchers, which is
Yeah, that was interesting.
that's unique in itself, because at that point it would just make more sense to just convert
Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
left-handed or right-handed. But I don't know. I think he bats better from the left side, but if he's batting lefty, I have no idea. But that is definitely very unique.
yeah, I mean, we'll see what we get there from Oswaldo. It's funny because I think we have made this comparison before on our in videos about Oswaldo Cabrera and Juan Soto, and obviously different players, but just in terms of swing, from the left side, and kind of the vibe and I guess the aura that he brings. But I mean, it doesn't seem like Oswaldo Cabrera can really put it together, and he is still young, so he has development to go. But I don't know really how much just another season of sitting on the bench is going to do for
Yeah,
Oswaldo. I think maybe it might be best, and I assume he still has options left, but I think it might be best for him to see if he could find it in Triple A, and then if he does, call him up and maybe, I don't know, get him a little bit more consistent playing time, because it kind of feels like if we just sit him on the bench again, it's going to waste some of his talent. So, I mean, we'll see what we get there. The last really surprise, and Ryan's going to be back in just a second, but the Yankees kind of have a tough decision to make at catcher. They have Austin Wells, who came up with about a month left last year, played pretty well. And, they also have Ben Rortvedt. Ben Rortvedt does not have options. So the Yankees either have to put him on the opening day roster or find a place to trade him or designate him for assignment. Hope he clears waivers. We'll see. So I think not the obvious, but I think the thing that would be best for the team is Austin Wells and Jose Trevino as your catcher. But I don't know if the Yankees are ready to just say bye to Rortvedt. So I get a little concerned, especially if Wells doesn't have a great spring, that he might get stuck in AAA.
Yeah, also you got to keep in mind too, like if they do, even if Wells does have a good spring and they end up, DFAing a guy like Rortvedt, who do we have third catcher? Trevino's been shaky with the injuries. He came into spring. What was it? A calf strain.
He should be back though.
Yeah, no, he should be back. But like, who's your third catcher? Carlos Narvaez? Like, no, like, so I don't know. And Ben Rortvedt, I feel like would be definitely a guy that gets picked up. But there's a decision to be made there at the catching position. It's going to be interesting to see how Garrett Cole's able to build up, a relationship with Austin Wells, because we haven't seen that duo at all.
It does seem like it's actually going well. I mean, Cole has said he likes pitching to Wells, and he said Wells has a very good understanding for pitch calling, and I'll be honest, it does seem like a little bit of a bond is forming there. So my personal opinion, I think the Yankees are gonna cut ties with Rortvedt and just give it to Wells and Trevino. However, I mean, if you do that, who's our third catcher?
Yeah, no, I feel like one guy who's really impressed in spring is Luis Torrens. You might have seen him on the Yankees Instagram feed. He won the ping pong tournament they had, I believe, last week. He has a couple home runs this spring. Veteran guy, really like a journeyman, but he could be another option as well. Luis Torrens, but no, as far as third catcher, you don't really have someone that's big league caliber in AAA. You don't really have a prospect that's ready for the big leagues either. So at that point, I would pick up, a veteran minor league contract, someone, who's played in the big leagues before, has called games from pitchers, get him in there, be able to catch. So, maybe the Yankees start to do that soon, as the next couple weeks followed. Don't be surprised the Yankees pick up a catcher, because that would tell you all you need to know.
It would. I mean, those are all the surprises I have. I feel like we need to see a little bit more games. I think really the roster, I think those are really kind of the three roster decisions that kind of have to be made. I guess Ron, we'll see how his spring goes, but I think there's a good chance he's going to start in AAA. And I mean, spring training, we say the games don't matter, and they don't. And a lot of the performances you can't take too much into account. But look, there are some guys that it does matter for, and those are guys like Vivas, Birdie, Wells, Rortvet, and Marinaccio. So we'll see what we get from there. The last thing we really want to talk about was Vogelbach and Garrett Cole. Me and Ryan have made our fair share of comments about Daniel Vogelbach, as does every Yankee fan. But I mean, the stuff we're doing, we're pimping home runs or in spring training is a bit much.
Yeah, I mean, especially, like Garrett Cole said, he asked the reporter, what day is it? Referencing, dude, you're pimping a home run. It's March 1st.
Exactly.
Yesterday we were in February. I mean, look, right? Like, if he did it on our team, we might be happy about it. Like, I understand. We all understand the way the game has gone. I wouldn't even say at this point the way the game is going. I feel like it's fully transitioned into, showing up, having that swagger, having that energy, something, I've pushed for the Bronx, adding those kind of guys, Juan Soto, Alex Verdugo, bring that swagger. But like Vogelbach, like, who are you, dude? It's just like, it's funny because he's not good. Like he's not, like, last year on the Mets, he got sidelined. Buck Showalter gave him, I don't know, like a mental break. I don't think it was anything to do with mental health, but just, a reset. He was benched for like a week, and got picked up by the Blue Jays. But look, I mean, the guy is, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he showed up Garrett Cole, and, Garrett Cole said it perfectly. He's like, I don't forget a lot of things, right? So, Garrett Cole he's going to remember that. And I'm sure when he faces him again, things are going to be different. So, honestly, I'd say it's a mistake on Vogelbach's part. I mean, we've seen, the beef that's happened with Garrett Cole and how he's been able to respond to that. I remember with Josh Donaldson, that first happened, and Cole put Donaldson to sleep very quickly. We saw it with Josh Naylor in the playoffs, hit a home run, did the, rocking, and then, that fired the Yankees up. It fired Garrett Cole up. He's able to pitch very well. So, hey, it is what it is. But, Vogelbach, it was definitely a lame move for sure. Considering he's not that guy. And, you can't be. Yeah.
And, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, because Juan Soto he's enjoyed his home runs too. But I mean, I do think there is a certain point where it's a matter of respect. And look, it's whatever, but I mean, to be showing up, the reigning Cy Young Award winner in spring training just feels weird.
Yeah.
Do it. I don't care. Garrett Cole is going to have an amazing season. And if anything, it's fuel to the fire for Cole.
Yeah. And, I'd say this. Garrett Cole doesn't have to put too much effort in trying to hit him, if he wants to do that.
Thought we were going to go there.
Yeah. So hey, I mean, he wants to hit him. He close his eyes. We'll find him somewhere. So,
He's a big target.
no, I saw a TikTok the other day of it was a 3-minute compilation of him getting thrown out at different bases. It was
Yeah, I don't. The fact that he is able to compete in Major League Baseball is impressive. I mean, at that size and still being able to swing a bat and catch up with 95 is props.
Alejandro Kirk's another. Like, I don't know how he's like the hand. It must be just a hand-eye coordination thing more than anything, because it's hard to wrap your head around it. It really is. But Blue Jays, hey, they're building a little squad there. I think it was perfect fit for Vogelbach to sign with the team like Toronto. There's a lot of big boys on that team, so he'll fit right in.
There is. And these things, they always come back in Garrett Cole's favor. You just don't do that to Cole.
No, don't.
I mean, that's really all there is to that. The last thing I really wanted to say, Yankees are 25 days away from opening day. Ryan, what's going to happen
on opening day?
What's going to happen?
I think Cole's going to shove. He's going back there in H-Town. I feel like the vibes with the Yankees are going to be high. And I think Cole's going to pitch a really, really good game. And I think Soto launches a home run. And I think the Yankees get the win. And I say the Yankees win the game by a final score of 6-2 is my prediction. They win the game 6-2. Soto home run. Cole, 6 innings, doesn't give up more than 2 runs. And, I think Penn shuts it down. Yeah.
If I miss Juan Soto's first home run as a Yankee, that's gonna hurt. Really bad. And
it's I
know it's gonna happen.
Yeah. It's like also the first time in a very long time the Yankees have had like an opening day on the road. Like 2023 opened up at home. 2022 was originally meant to open up on the road. I think in Baltimore, we ended up opening up.
That was
Yankees,
a lockout, right?
Yeah, ended up opening up against the Red Sox in Yankee Stadium. 2021 we opened up against Toronto in the Bronx, and then 2020 we opened up in Washington. But that was like end of July and August.
Yeah.
And then the year before that, 2019, we opened up in Yankee Stadium against the Orioles. And 2018,
that was void, right?
Yeah, and then 2018, we opened up against Toronto on the road. So if you're counting the 2020 COVID year, feel free. But the first time the Yankees have opened up a season in March, April, whatever, on the road, it hasn't happened since 2018. So it's weird because I always feel like the Yankees are opening up at home, but they're not. They're on the road this time. And then they have some games against Christian. Do you know? I don't know if you looked at the schedule.
It's a tough one, right?
7 straight games to open the season. They don't have an off day. Like, it's insane. Because they're playing in domes, Houston and Arizona. But that was crazy. Like, they don't have an off day. Like 7 days, and then they have to come back from Arizona, off day, and then face Toronto. It's tough. It's tough schedule.
And the teams, I think it's like Astros, Rays, Toronto, Diamondbacks. I mean, it's a tough way to open the season. But look, I mean, you play all the teams. Just don't get too far behind in April.
Yeah, no. Especially, I mean, we've seen the Yankees start out slow in April many times. But yeah, I mean, just play good ball because you have a good April. You beat up on a lot of these good teams. They start with Houston, then Arizona, Toronto. Like if you play well against these teams, especially you go in there take care of the Astros, beat up on the Diamondbacks, and, the in-division games are important against Toronto. So, you play well in April, your schedule's going to get easier at some point. You're playing every team.
Yes.
So you can do good this month. It will definitely set yourself up. And we've seen how valuable it is to be able to stack up wins. So you're not playing from behind. I mean, in 2022, I remember the Yankees in August looked like the worst baseball team ever constructed until the 2023 Yankees said, hold my beer. But we've seen how important that was because the Yankees got off to such a great start in 2022. We've seen it before. So it's very important to be able to stack up on those wins so you don't have to play from behind.
It is. We'll be back here next Sunday. Thank you for joining us. If you're listening after this on YouTube, podcast platforms, thank you for listening. And go Yankees. Spring training, guys, keep going. And every day is one step closer to the season. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Peace. See you next week, guys.